Hello students and welcome to classroom teaching. I am Shekhar, your science teacher. Students, you may have understood what we are going to see today. Yes, exactly, the twinkling of stars. But before starting this article or the reason behind that, let us recall what we see in our last video. Students, we have seen that whenever light travels from one transparent medium to another transparent medium, it changes its direction of propagation, and that is nothing but we call it as refraction of light. One more thing that we have seen, that this refraction of light, it depends upon the refractive index of the medium. That means how dense the medium is, or from which medium the light goes into another medium. So depending on the refractive index, the bending of light, it depends on that. One more thing that we have seen in last video, that is nothing but whenever light travels from rare medium to comparatively dense medium, whenever the light travels from rare medium to dense medium, it bends towards normal. It bends towards normal. And whenever it travels from denser medium to rarer medium, it goes away from normal. Okay? So, keep these 3 points in your mind and let us see why the stars they twinkle at night and why not the planets. Both these reasons are included in it. There are so many local effects of refraction of light due to atmosphere. But this effect of atmosphere, it is given in the syllabus and you must know. Suppose you are standing here. What is this? You are on the top of the earth. So this is nothing but earth. And suppose these are the different layers of atmosphere, or suppose this is atmosphere. I make such layers because the density of the air, it changes gradually. Here the density is more, here less, here again less. So suppose this is atmosphere and the star is here. So whenever the light, it is coming from this star, it is coming from rarer medium into the denser medium. That means it is coming from vacuum to air, and vacuum is the rare medium than air also. So whenever it is coming from vacuum to air, definitely it bends towards normal and therefore it bends in this direction. But as the layers of the air, they have different densities. That means the density of the air gradually increases as we go towards the earth, and therefore the refractive index also increases as the density increases. And due to that, the light, it continuously bends. It bends continuously and reaches to us, and therefore we are able to see this star. But actually the star is present here, but due to this bending of light, the apparent position of the star, it changes and it is slightly above the original position of the star. So this is nothing but the apparent position of the star. Understood? The first reason, the apparent position of the star, it is slightly above the original position due to refraction of light. Whenever you are going to write the answer of this question or give reason, then you must write due to refraction of light. So due to refraction of light, the light is bent towards normal and there is a continuous bending of light, and therefore the apparent position of the star, it is slightly above the original position. The second point is as the star is very far from us, it behaves like a point source. And whenever this light travels through atmosphere, definitely it bends. But what happens whenever the light is coming from this star, this air, this medium, it is not a stationary medium. And as it is not a stationary medium, due to the change in temperature, due to the change in atmospheric air, what happened? The refractive index of the air also changes continuously. And therefore, the light reaching to us, it also changes continuously. Or we can see the apparent position of the star also changes. Apparent position of the star also changes. So the position and brightness, both these things, position and brightness of the star, it changes continuously. Why brightness? Because sometimes the large amount of light it bends and come towards you. Sometimes the light, due to the change in refraction, the light it may goes here, and therefore at that time the star it appears to be dim. Sometimes the star it appears bright, and sometimes the star it appears dim, and due to that it appears to twinkle. What is nothing but that is nothing but the twinkling of star. So which are the main reasons? If you want to write it in exam, what are the points? First, you have to say whenever the light travels from vacuum to air or atmosphere, whenever it enters into atmosphere due to the refractive index of air, or due to the, as it is coming from one transparent medium to another transparent medium, the refraction of light takes place. Second point, and due to that the apparent position of star, it is slightly above the original position. The second point, as air is not a stationary medium, the refractive index of the air changes continuously, and due to that the position of the star, it also varies. Third point, as the light reaching to us, it changes continuously due to the changing refractive index of air. What happens? Star appears bright sometimes, whereas it appears dim sometimes, and that is we call it as twinkling of stars. Understood? And one more point you have to add, as stars they are very far from us, it behaves like a point source. Okay, so the next reason in this, why planets do not twinkle. Why planets do not twinkle? Again, suppose you are here on the top of the earth. This is nothing but atmosphere, and now we are taking, instead of star, we are seeing planet. So suppose it is a planet. Actually, you must keep in mind that planets are much closer to us in comparison with stars. Stars are self-luminous. Planets, they are not self-luminous. That means they reflect the light towards us, and therefore they become visible. Okay, so whenever now see the reasons. First, planets are much closer to us in comparison with stars. Second point, therefore they do not behave as a point source, but they are nothing but the collection of many point sources. Definitely whenever the light is coming from these planets, they also get refracted. The refraction of light again takes place. Suppose it behaves like a collection of many point sources. If the light coming to us through this point, due to refraction of light, it bends continuously. Suppose the light is reaching to us, so the light coming from this point, if it is dim, at the same time the light coming from this point may be more in that case, and therefore the average light coming from the planet, it is always remains same. Second point, the points which we have taken here, similar points we are taking here also. First point, as it is very close to us in comparison with stars, planets, they behave like a collection of many point sources. Second point, the position of the point on this planet and the brightness of the point on this planet, it may varies. It definitely changes due to the refraction of air. It is not a stationary medium. But at the same time, the position and brightness of another point source which is present on this planet, it also varies, it also changes, but the average position and average brightness of the planet, it always remains constant, and therefore planets, they do not twinkle. So if we compare these two, we can easily write only the difference is stars, they are very far from us and therefore they behave like a point source, and exactly if we say about planets, they are very close to us in comparison with stars, and therefore they behave like collection of many point sources. So this is the basic difference between stars and planets. Okay, so let us see one more reason. That reason we call it as early sunrise and delayed sunset. Early sunrise and delayed sunset. Suppose you are here, definitely it is Earth, and suppose this is, it is nothing but horizon. When we say that there is a sunrise or sunset, whenever there is a sunrise, whenever the sun, it comes above this horizon, we call it as sunrise. But what happened due to the atmosphere? Suppose this is atmosphere. Suppose this is air which is present around us. If the sun is present here, now it is below horizon. The sun is below horizon. That means there is no sunrise still. But what happened? The light coming from this, due to the refraction of light, it bends continuously towards normal, and therefore the apparent position of the sun, it is slightly above the original position of the sun. That means we are able to see this sun, though it is below horizon, it appears above horizon, and therefore we say it is early sunrise. That means before sunrise, for few minutes, we can see the sun on horizon, and it appears to be sunrise there. So it is nothing but the reason. What the reason that we are saying? Due to refraction of light through atmosphere. Whenever the light, it travels from vacuum to air, it enters into atmosphere, it bends, it changes its direction of propagation, and as the atmosphere, as we go towards Earth, the density of the air, it gradually increases, and therefore the light continuously bends, and therefore the apparent position of the sun, it is slightly above. The similar reason is here also. Whenever at the time of sunset, what happened? The sun is here. That means already there is a sunset. Already sunset झालेला आहे. But what happened? Due to the refraction of light, due to the bending of light, what happened? The actual position and the apparent position, they are different. That means sun, apparent position of the sun, it changes. It is slightly above the original position. And therefore, after going below horizon, we are able to see that sun above this horizon. That means just above the horizon. And therefore, it is called as delayed sunset. So early sunrise and delayed sunset म्हणजे सूर्य उगवण्याच्या पूर्वी आपल्याला तो क्षितिजावर दिसतो आणि सूर्य मावळल्याच्या नंतर तो थोडा वेळ आपल्याला तिथे दिसतो क्षितिजावर. सो this early sunrise and delayed sunset can increase the duration of daytime. If this question is asked into the exam, that the duration of the daytime, it is increased. So why it is increased? It is due to the refraction of light through atmosphere. So whenever you are going to write the answer of these questions, you have to underline the main words as due to refraction of light. It is very important. Then secondly, the apparent position of the star or apparent position of the sun, it is slightly above. Underline it. Therefore, you can highlight it. Okay, so here that is the reason why the stars they twinkle at night and not planets. That is one reason that we have seen. And second, early sunrise and delayed sunset. The reason for that also, it is also due to the refraction of light. So students, here we complete the refraction of light. In next video, we are going to see dispersion of light. Thank you very much.